A stereotype is a commonly held public belief about specific groups of people or types of individuals that is usually harmful. How often have you been mistaken for a criminal, thug, or gangbanger? How often have you been labeled as bad or as a troublemaker for what you wear or say? Youth often get a bad reputation due to media and other social influences. But have you really taken the time to see us as we are? We took to the streets to find out what people think about this topic.
It's pretty much a judgment about somebody, probably like towards a racial group or gender.
A stereotype is someone who's been like categorized as doing certain things just because they're in a certain group of people.
At Met West High School, we also had the chance to ask a few people about what they thought about the stereotyping of youth.
I've been stereotyped many ways, specifically because I'm Latina. Another way that we've been stereotyped is in school, that we're like dumb and that we don't succeed in school, but when you really realize it, we're the ones that most try to strive our hardest to go to school. Stereotype is negative because it's a lot of times it puts us into a box of what we should be, you know, and a lot of us to internalize that, and we try to act like that, but that's not necessarily how we're supposed to be, you know.
Coming from Oakland, you know, we're stereotyped as, oh, we're just ghetto, we wait for a check every month. When I present myself to people, they're like, oh, I can't believe you're from Oakland. I'd be like, why? Because, you know, it's a stereotype that they put on me, not knowing me, based upon, you know, what they hear or what gets most of the attention.
I've been stereotyped in many situations, mainly involving law officials like police and things like that, probably racial profiles.
So I was with some young people from Castlemont High. It was a campus shadow day, Cal Shadow Day, showing them around campus. We stopped to take some photos at the Campanile. That's the big tower in the middle of the campus. And so while we're taking photos, I see another family taking photos. And I asked them, hey, if you take our photo, we can take yours. She was looking for directions. And she says, first, you're not a student here, are you? And the way she said it, it was very negatively, like you couldn't be a student here at UC Berkeley. And then at that point, her husband, he checks her. Because I would have been out of pocket if I would have looked at her and based on her appearance and said, well, you don't go to the gym very much, do you? That wouldn't have been a nice assessment of who she is and what she does. But she felt comfortable making a value judgment about me based upon my appearance. And I just told the young man, you know, that's how some people will judge you, and you got to take the higher ground.
In the case of one young man in Oakland, Oscar Grant, stereotyping cost him his life.
Now, we have to warn you, be aware the video we're about to show you is graphic. Some viewers may choose not to watch it.
About 15 seconds later, one officer puts his knee on Grant's head, and the other officer seems to do a pat down. Then he pulls his gun, and a second later fires what would be a fatal shot.
I think that Oscar Grant was shot because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Basically, he was seen as somebody who could potentially be dangerous because of what he was wearing.
Youth Together is a youth-led organization that advocates against the negative stereotyping of young people and promotes the empowerment of youth.
When I was in elementary school, my peers would kind of pick on me or say that I sounded white, or I was talking white or trying to act white because I didn't speak in Ebonics like the way they spoke. Having to go through stereotypes, I was kind of given a desire to want to stop that, and that also kind of helped me to end up working with YT.
What I believe is that Some people or adults stereotype youth because it's easy, and they see that through the media and in institutions and in laws that have been passed that kind of build their foundation upon stereotypes. And I think what's important about YT's work is that we try to empower youth to believe that they're not a stereotype.
APAL, also known as Asian Pacific Islander Youth Promoting Advocacy and Leadership, is another youth-centered organization that is working on an ethnic studies campaign in Oakland schools to help cultures learn about one another in order to gain a truer perspective.
Well, here at APAL, we're trying to get ethnic studies implemented into schools from K through 12. And through ethnic studies, like, folks will understand how other cultures work, you know, and maybe through learning their heritage and their culture, we would, you know, like, come together as people of color and fight against stereotypes.
Youth Roots uses art and culture to break stereotypes by educating youth about themselves and by helping them deliver a positive message to the community.
I remember really enjoying Youth Roots and the help that the adults gave me, and, you know, when they were talking me through some of my problems and issues that weren't maybe Youth Roots related, and how much that made a change in my life.
It feels good to be out there and performing, and especially if it has a message. So, I mean, that's definitely what pushes me to keep doing this work, and that feeling of being on stage and just being hyped up.
The next time you see young people hanging out on the corner, don't buy into the stereotype that they may well be dangerous or up to no good. Take time to talk to a young person and learn who we really are. All we ask is that you see us as we are.